So Yiscah, you've been teaching Jewish spirituality, Torah, Hasidut, for really, so many years of your life. And what I've read, at least, is early on in your life you were living in the old city, and you were very passionate and involved in the world of Chabad and Chabad teachings and its beliefs and its texts. And then later on in your life, you've been focusing more on the Piaseczner Rebbe. So I want to ask you, what do you feel each one, Chabad Torah, has contributed to you, and what has Piaseczner Rebbe contributed to you? And maybe just elaborate a little bit on your relationship between those different worlds that you have delved into.
Oh, Rav Ari, no one's ever asked me that question, so thank you. What drew me into Chabad in the 1970s was the passion to talk about God, the passion to equate every fulfillment of each mitzvah with being close to God. Every page of the Gemara, every page of the Chumash, every page of Torah learning brings us closer to God. The tefillah experience, the prayer experience in the Beit HaKnesset brings us closer to God. I was very drawn by that. I was also drawn by the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of a tzaddik be for a blessing. I was very, very inspired by his radicalness, by his going out into uncharted territory in bringing what he believed to be more unity to the Jewish world and to the world at large, which he believed would usher in some type of messianic consciousness, however one understands that. And many of his decisions, many of his campaigns, many of his teachings were not always widely accepted by the status quo normative Haredi or Hasidic world. Yet he felt and shared with his Hasidim in the world at large, he felt compelled. And that very much attracted me. His feeling compelled, feeling called to, even if it means going against the grain. You don't do it dafka to go against the grain, but if it means going against the grain to bring unity, to bring, again, a sense of redemption, whatever that may mean to the individual or in a national or even global way, do it. And I just was very attracted by how the Chassidut, the teachings of Chabad, pictured the understanding of our relationship with God. However, and this is, I can only share my experience. And I really want to emphasize this is my experience. It stayed in the cerebral realm. I wanted to feel close to God. I didn't want to just understand about God. I loved learning because I'm a scholar and I love learning. I love the academics of it, the really pulling it apart, pulling the text apart and really negotiating it and figuring out the different Mefarshim and what questions they were answering and what answers meant for me or not for me. However, the Chassidut that I learned, and it could have been my time and place in the 1970s into the 1980s, it remained above my neck. I wanted to feel closeness. I needed to feel close to God. I really did. And I didn't feel the Chassidut brought me to that. And little by little, I started learning Jewish meditation. My first meditation teacher, Rav James Jacobson Meisels, who I'm indebted to. Ad Me'ah Ve'esrim, we should all live to be 120 in the most healthy ways. He really created a shift for me. And he was very baki. He still is in the Piaseczner. He was my first teacher of the Piaseczner, actually in Pardes. Long before I taught there, teaching the Piaseczner, I was learning from Rav James, the Piaseczner. And I started to actually feel God's presence. And it meant a lot to me. Although I wasn't looking for it, it meant a lot that the Piaseczner held a lot by the Balatanya. It was, for me, I felt I was entering a more evolved space inside of my own mind, body, and soul that started with Chabad, and the Piaseczner was expanding it for me. Rather than in contradiction, it was a l'shachlel. He enhanced it. Lehitrachev, like Rav Kook says, lehitrachev, to expand it, to enhance, l'shachlel oto. So it was for me, very organic. I never felt I'm rejecting Chabad Chassidut and now I'm accepting the Piaseczner Chassidut. No, I'm taking my learning of Chabad Chassidut and expanding on it through the writings of the Piaseczner, and to a degree Rav Kook, even to a degree Netivot Shalom. And now as I'm beginning to learn the very, very, very beginning tipot, the very drops of the beginning of Rav Shagar, I feel it's really just expanding and expanding as we are moving from one decade to the next decade to the next decade.